I don't like spending $30 on a gallon of kombucha, so at home I make mine for the price of a single cup of sugar, 6 tea bags, and a Scoby culture. What is Scoby? Scoby is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast, and Scoby is necessary to create the fermentation in the kombucha. So here are a few tips for when you are getting or borrowing a Scoby. Scoby should be at least 5 inches wide. You should definitely get it from a reputable supplier who provides instructions with 1 full cup of starter liquid. So make sure you get that alongside of your Scoby bacteria. Here are a couple of no's. The Scoby should not be dehydrated. It should not be super tiny, like test tube sized, and it should not be grown from a commercial bottle. The reasons to drink kombucha are simple. To have good bacteria in your gut through the fermentation process. I love to drink it, but I also love the different types of other uses for the Scoby and kombucha. For example, you can consume the Scoby, such as Scoby jerky, and make sashimi as well as fruit lather. And some other ones are so freaking innovative. You can do like a facial toner, a kitchen cleaner, first aid kit. You can create Scoby earrings by dehydrating them, and you can even make Scoby treats. You should definitely check out this amazing book, the Big Book of Kombucha. It has so many different ideas and recipes for kombucha. On day 2 of brewing kombucha in my house, I always make sure to check in and feed my Scoby Hotel first. Scoby Hotel is just a funny phrase used to call additional Scobies you keep separately in your fridge. Scoby Hotels are great for giving away to friends and family, to have extra to play with when making doggy treats or when making skincare. And finally, if your batch gets moldy, you have to dump it all out and start anew with a fresh and healthy Scoby from your Scoby Hotel. This step I picked up from my beer brewing husband, who swears by Star San, which is a necessary sanitizer you can find in your local homebrew shop. Don't be afraid to touch and handle your Scobies. They are soft and squishy, like a jellyfish. I am looking for a larger piece to help speed up the fermentation process. If your Scoby sizes are more narrow, you can still use it in a large pot like mine, because it will expand during the fermentation and cover the entire surface. Add your starter liquid on top to make a seal to help prevent mold and bacteria from entering. Then cover with a breathable cloth like cotton and put it in a warm spot, away from the sun, strong smells, and other irritants. My kombucha is on my heating mat and it's all plugged in. And honestly, I found that was the solution for fixing my mold issue. And I haven't lost a batch since. A week from now, let's make a note to check on our kombucha. I've been at it for a while, so just by a very specific kombucha smell, I can tell that this batch is probably ready to go. Another way to determine that is to taste it. So make sure that you clean your utensils. You don't want to contaminate your batch. And you will grab a little taster, maybe a little bit more. Get to the bottom of the pot. It's slightly vinegary, just the way I like it. It's no longer sweet as it was in the beginning. So yeah, it's ready to go. I think this batch is ready to be consumed, so let's get ready for the next one. If you were to start the next batch, batch number 2, you would have your cooled down sweet tea already ready to go. And when you pull out your Scoby, you would put it on top of your tea with 1 cup of the top liquid on top of the new batch. But I will be traveling soon, so I won't be making any more kombucha. In fact, I will be storing it in my Scoby hotel. So this single batch will go back to the Scoby hotel. And basically what I normally do is I clean my hands, very important. Clean your hands with Star San, and then pull out the Scoby just like this. You can feel how gooey, gelatinous, almost jellyfish-like it is. It's kind of fun. Whoa. It's kind of slippery. So then I plop it back into the Scoby hotel, and I grab a cup of the top liquid. The top liquid is, here's my cleaned cup. And the top liquid is the stronger stuff. So you would put it on top of your Scoby in the Scoby hotel. This way it's being preserved, and it goes back into the fridge to await for my arrival and for the next batch to begin. Hopefully I did not overfill it. Always make sure you have enough liquid in there so it doesn't dry out. Next is the fun part, is the creative part of making kombucha. I like the flavor of plain kombucha, but I really love to second ferment and to flavor my kombucha. So first we're going to put it in the vessels. You should definitely leave some space at the top of the bottle so that you have extra space for flavorings, whether it is blueberries or herbs that you're flavoring with. Oops. I usually do it in the sink, but to show you guys, I ended up spilling a little bit. Whoa. There is some yeast left at the bottom of the pot, so in order to avoid that, I do not want to be drinking yeast. I will clean this tea strainer and I will use it like so. More than I thought. Well, just like in brewing beer, when you brew kombucha, you always enjoy it. Oh, that's good. Oh, with a kick. Wow, surprised myself. Today I'm using my favorite flavorings for secondary fermentation. It is blueberries and rosemary. So I just take my frozen blueberries and I plop them in there. I don't really have a system of how many or how much, so I just kind of eyeball it. Maybe half a cup. I love the color that it gives, and of course the flavor. The flavor is sweet, yet sour. Perfect combination. Now these guys are going to go into the fridge, and make sure to burp them every couple of days because the carbonation will build up. I hope you enjoyed this kombucha making video. Remember, it's so inexpensive. You can make it any flavor you like, and it's just so easy and fun to do something yourself. Cheers!